Students, let us we continue the discussion of the chapter Theory of Distribution. In this session, we see the interest theory, that is loanable fund theory. In previous chapter, we see meaning and types of interest. In this session, we see loanable fund theory. The neoclassical theory or loanable funds theory of interest was its origin of Swedish economist Knut Wicksell. ಇದನ್ನು ನವಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಪಂಥದ ಅರ್ಥಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಜ್ಞರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ವೀಡಿಷ್ ದೇಶದ ನಟ್ ವಿಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಅವರು ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. Later on, economists like Ohlin, Medal, Lindahl, Robertson, and J. Weiner have considerably contributed to this theory. According to this theory, rate of interest rate determined by the demand for and supply of loanable funds. In this regard, this theory is more realistic, broader than classical theory of interest. ಈ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರ ನಿಗದಿಯಾಗದು ಸಾಲ ನಿಧಿಗಳ ಬೇಡಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪೂರೈಕೆಯ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿದೆ. ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೋನಬಲ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್. Loanable funds theory differs from classical theory in the explanation of demand for loanable funds. According to this theory, demand for loanable fund arises for the following three purposes: investment, holding, and saving. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸಾಲ ನಿಧಿಗಳ ಹೀಗೆ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಮೂರು ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದ. ಒಂದು ಹೂಡಿಕೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಂಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಮತ್ತು ಡಿಸೇವಿಂಗ್. The main source of demand loanable fund is demand investment. Investment refers to expenditure for the purchase of making of new capital goods, including inventories. The price of obtaining such funds for the purpose of these investment depends on the rate of interest. Investment. The main source of demand for loanable funds is the demand for investment. Investment refers to the expenditure for the making of new capital goods, including inventories. The price of obtaining such funds for depends on the rate of interest. Supply of loanable funds. The supply of loanable funds derives from the basic four resources: savings, disholdings, disinvestment, and bank credit. There as savings. Savings constitute most important source of the supply of loanable funds. Saving is the difference between the income and expenditure. Since income is assumed to remain unchanged, so the amount of savings varies with the rate of interest. Individuals as well as business firms will save more at higher rate interest, vice versa. Disholding. Disholding is another important source of supply of loanable funds. Generally, individuals may dishold money from the past holdings at a higher rate of interest. Thus, at a higher rate, idle cash balances of the past become the active balances at present and become available for investment. If the rate of interest is low, leaseholding would be negligible. Disinvestment occurs when the existing stock of capital is allowed to wear out without being replaced by new capital equipment. Disinvestment will be high when the present interest rate provides better returns in comparison to present earnings. Bank money. Banking system constitutes another source of supply of loanable funds. The banks advance loans to the businessmen through the process of credit creation. Determination rate of interest. So here, determination of rate of interest according to loanable fund theory. Equilibrium rate of interest is that which brings equality between demand for and supply of loanable funds. In other words, equilibrium interest rate determined at a point where demand for loanable curves intersect supply of curve of loanable funds. It can be shown in figure 4. Here we see how demand for loanable funds and supply of loanable intersect in each E. The rate of interest determined point intersection of two curves, supply of loan curves and demand loanable curve DL. Figure 4 that equilibrium rate of interest is EM at the rate demand of loanable funds is equal to supply of loanable funds. So, criticism of this theory. Although loanable funds theory is superior to classical theory, yet critics have criticized on the following grounds. Full employment. Keynes opined that loanable funds theory is based on the unrealistic assumptions of full employment, so suffers from classical theory. indeterminate. Like classical theory, loanable funds theory is also intermediate. This theory assumes that savings and income both are independent, but savings depend on income. As the income changes, savings also change, and so does the supply of loanable. It's impracticable. This theory assumes savings, hoarding, investment, etc. to be related to interest rate. But in actual practice, investment is not only affected by interest rate but also by the marginal efficiency of capital. Unsatisfactory integration of real and monetary factors. This theory makes an attempt to interchange monetary as well as real factors as a determinant of interest rate. Constancy of national income. Loanable funds theory rests on the assumption that level of national income remains unchanged. In reality, due to the change in investment, income level also changes accordingly. Improvement over classical theory. Loanable funds theory is considered to be an improvement over the classical theory in the following aspects. Loanable funds theory recognizes importance holding as a factor of affecting interest rate, which is a classical theory complete overlooked. Loanable funds theory links together liquidity preference, quantity of money, savings, and investment. Loanable funds theory take into consideration role of bank credit, which act as very important source of loanable funds. Students, in this session we learn to understand loanable funds theory.